Cosmic Fire, he's done hot too. It's Cosmic Fire just, he's done hot too. One last thrust. Oh, close to a dead heat this. He's done hot too, has had a real dive at Cosmic Fire.
Welcome to Bet Dr. Brisvegas, Queensland style. It's Magic Millions week and it's a buzz up here in the Gold Coast. I'm a little bit fatigued after a couple of big days with the fair. Been great hospitality and the boxing rolled into town on Wednesday. First bloke I saw after the boxing, Tristan and Walt and myself walked out of there. Mug Punter gave us the bear hug, and it's been a challenging couple of days. But Donnie, I haven't seen you. You've been bunkered down, too smart, dodging all the mischief.
Yeah, I've been locked in the office. It's Christmas Eve for me, so I'm absolutely pumped. It looks a tricky betting program, some tough races this year. I wouldn't be surprised if I don't back a winner all day, and I've had 3 bets in every race. So it looks tough, but yeah, I can't wait to get there tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to seeing the track hold up, and I think we're going to get through all 10 races. I can't wait.
GK, you slipped into town down at Coolangatta. I've got a couple of sneaky paparazzi shots of you maybe in a pair of budgie smugglers down at Coolangatta Beach. Nice little sneaky trip to the Gold Coast, but you've avoided the carnage as well.
Yeah, I can just say there definitely were no DTs. And to go to Donnie's point, look, I think I've backed half the 2-year-old race pre-post, so I hope I find a winner.
And Johnny McLeod returns as well. Johnny, it's good to have you back after seeing a couple of the RQ boys last night at the Betfair event. Tommy's the golden hair boy. They're still living off the cricket's chirping money, but it's good to have you back on the show.
No, that's good, mate. I'll be bringing out the Dick Togs next week. I'm sure it's certain. No Dick Togs for me. Just, but as the boys are saying, geez, I think 6. If I have 6 bets a race, I'll be struggling to find that winner too. It's tough. It's tough. You just got to. I think I said it a few times, just back the good jockeys and find the right horses in the right place, and just do that.
Yeah, it's all been about the track and the fiasco with the poisoning of the grass at the 500 metre mark, which is a real critical, I guess, position on the course when horses are trying to accelerate. And Sky have put out the vision of jockeys going over the track, and wow, I think they did pull the right rein last Saturday to move it to the Sunshine Coast, and turnover was through the roof, apparently. The Sunlight wagering figures were as big as a Doomben 10,000 race, so that was good, and it looked amazing on TV. I went to the fandom meeting, and the Gold Coast Turf Club did a great job of notifying people to still go on course if they felt like it. You could get a full refund, you could get a partial refund, but the vibe was sensational. Like that night racing or that twilight slot for the Gold Coast, it's just meant to be, I think. And being out there with a couple of drinks under the belt, under the stars, like once you add horses back in, it's going to be a great thing. And I can see why Donnie had such a good time on that Friday night meeting. So they're going to persist with it, and they're going to do really well. But yeah, they just keep. They're having the black cat and no rub of the green with the luck, but they're still rolling the dice here, and it's a big roll of the dice. I saw Jason Scott last night and spoke to him, and I think it's just a matter of trying to get through the meeting in any means that they can. They'll look like fools if the 30 mil doesn't hit, and if it's only 10 mils, they'll probably be able to complete the card, or even 20 mils. So they're sort of damned if they do and damned if they don't. And Eagle Farm was an option, but I think they'll progress regardless. They're not going to cancel. So if they get through 1 or 2 races, they'll just be put on hold for Wednesday or even next Saturday. So it will be run and won all on the Gold Coast, which is good news. But yeah, maybe they've given the track that week off last week could be enough to get them over the line, Donnie. But you've seen the gallops. What did you think of the track?
I think I've got a bit more positive outlook than most on Twitter. I think today's forecast isn't as bad as what they were predicting. So just fingers crossed. We missed the chunk of the rain last night that was predicted to come. And if we don't get much today, we might be able to dry out a little bit. And I think it's one of the better drying tracks in the country. So fingers crossed. If it comes early in the morning tomorrow, and not so much throughout the day. So I think the gallop looked okay. I thought it was a bit harder to tell where the patch was put down than some others. And I'm just praying that we can get through the meeting, or get through at least to the 3-year-old race, which is race 8 tomorrow.
Yep.
Hey, Donnie, was when the Titans played the Kangaroos, were you as confident? Yeah, just nuclear certainties or whatever?
I'm just trying to be positive, Johnny, in a negative world.
Just do a little bit of a dash around the outside of, I don't know, Folau or something like that.
If I did jump over the top of Folau.
It's funny. Everyone's got an opinion of the track, but quick look in the rearview mirror before we ask GK's thoughts on how he thinks this week's track will play. Cosmic Fire was the team bet last week. It was good to see him hold on to win. Talk to Be Sure was a forgive and just killed so many multis. Hell to Pay was pretty arrogant in the way he won. And I was just a little bit disappointed that my Jets were cooled once it was shifted to Sunny Coast and it was sort of wet and then it sort of dried right out a bit and sort of greyed us all up. So good luck to anyone that found the right way to play it, because we did tip a set on Friday. Then we, I guess, sent the email out after scratchings on Saturday at the new venue. So hopefully some people at home have found a couple of winners. Private Harry's gone through the roof and all of a sudden he's the talk of the town in terms of Everest. They just love rolling that back out. Tristan is on the quick backup, so he's finally going to put up some 110% market. So that's 3 till 4 today. So that's going to be on the 2-year-old, the 3-year-old, and the Magic Millions Cup. So that's races 7, 8, 9, and we're going to preview all of those. We'll have another crack at our team multi. I think it was all bets off last week because of the venue change, which is probably rightly so, but it was the closest we got, and I think Derry Grove bled, which is a bit disappointing there. So he was the missing leg, but sure as hell, the other 2 legs got up. On today's show, we're going to do races 1, 4, 6. The boys have got most confidence there, plus the quaddie league 7, 8, 9, 10. So plenty of content, and it shouldn't change too much. Even if there is a delay, it'll still be working on maybe like a soft deck. So depending on how wet it is, I guess we'll be betting accordingly with confidence. So when it gets disastrously wet, generally I don't really bet up as much. TopSport Early Steam last week, Quietly Arrogant got the chocolates, Hell to Pay and Private, Harry all won. So if you follow those, they finally hit the scoreboard. But GK, you tweeted it out and we gave it a bit of a retweet on the Little Birdie account. But Gold Coast track, with the weather forecast and the way it's been playing, how do you think it'll play on Saturday if they get through it?
Yeah, look, I think they will get through it. Just looking at the forecast, we've had sort of, 5 mils on Thursday and maybe we get 5 Friday. And then I think there's probably about 20 we'll get in the morning on Saturday and during the meeting, something like that. Look, I went looking through the previous meetings at this track, and it's really tricky because we don't have, this number of runners in each of the races and, not really meetings like this. But there was a couple of other meetings that were similar that I had them sort of around 6, 7 range, and the inside was just completely cactus. Lanes 1 to 3 were just so significantly inferior. The 2 meetings that I found, not a single winner came in lanes 1 to 3. And on one of the meetings, not a single leader won either. So personally, I think inside draws, unless you're going to lead and be able to get off that inside, that's a significant disadvantage. And, there's some horses here that are drawn, like barrier 20 that I've already had something on. I don't think outside draws are a problem here with the way this track is playing. So if you've got wet track form, I'm not concerned about wide barriers.
Donnie?
Yeah, I reckon they'll be getting to the outside fence as the day progresses. I don't want too wide draws because they might have to go back to last and circle the field. I'd rather, mid draws that can sit close to the speed and angle right out.
Yeah, outstanding. All right. So, inside, bit of a disadvantage, but angling off is the go. All right, let's have a look at the first race. It's race 1. It's the Magic Millions Maiden Plate over 1,100 metres, and no prizes for guessing whose race this is. Volatile's come up favourite $5 for Tommy Berry and Peter Snowden. You got Shalar Gold $6.50, General Boom $7, Hell March 13 into $7.50, King of Dragon $7.50, Sir Joe is $8, and then you got Inversions $9.50, $14 Heavenly Impact, and $17 All Better the rest. Donnie, you were quite taken by the trial of Volatile, and this is it in the China Horse Clubs and colours, and sort of dips at the start, but picks himself up really nicely here, and good piece of work.
Yeah, really nice piece of work from this horse. It was aimed up at a lot of the good early 2-year-old races. As a young horse, it was in some Group 3s and Group 2s throughout its career, and it's been gelded this preparation, which is a big thing for a really well-bred horse. I love it. As this is its 3rd trial, it bounced to the front. All 3 trials this preparation, it's spring the lids and it's travelled beautifully. This is the first time it had winkers on, so it comes to the races on Saturday with winkers on. I just love this last little bit of piece of work. They haven't asked anything from it here, and Tommy Berry just accelerates nicely. The sectionals were pretty solid. It was a slow overall trial, but just love the way how easily it does get to the line. And this race is full of horses that can't really go. They're all kind of sprinters that are going to struggle to see out the 1,100 metres. It looks like plenty of speed, so Volatile's just going to sit off the speed and peel to the right part of the track, and if it's any good, it should be winning. And I think this horse has got some substance where the rest of them are going to struggle running out a strong 1,100 metres.
To my eye, it looks like a runner that will get through the wet ground as well. And on breeding, Snitzel out of a Lonhro mare. It's sort of like a double tick in the wet. It should just have an outboard motor.
The issue is it has failed twice in the wet, but
Okay.
it's a different horse this preparation. So hopefully earlier in the day, the track's not too wet and it gets through it well.
All right, no crown jewels, and hopefully gets the chocolates. GK, I'll let you go first. You had a look?
Yeah, look, I sort of circled 3 runners in the field. It was Volatile I have on top, and then the other 2 I was zeroing in on were General Boom, who's coming off a long layoff, but I do think has a bit of ability, and King of Dragons dropping back from the 1,300. Look, I don't think I'll bet in the race, but they were the 3 that I was kind of interested in.
Johnny McLeod?
Not really a race for me. Volatile, it's just worried. He just got to come back a better horse. He looks like he's come back a better horse just on those trials, but when he was the last preparation, he kept on travelling really strongly, and when he let him go, there was no real horse there. So he might be just one of those horses that, he could be a bit of a cat or whatever. But what do you say? He's been gelded, has he?
Gelded, yeah, winkers on.
Yeah, well, that's probably a positive with the gelding and everything. I haven't really done a lot of work on this race, but I just did look at Volatile because his trial was so good, and then I went back, and every time he was just travelling on the bit, and he just gave it a squeeze, and then just went backwards. Really. So just a bit of a worry.
I bumped into the assaulter from Malta, Jason, as a party last night, and he absolutely declared Volatile. So he's singing out of the Donny handbook here, and the only other dangers that were sort of whispered around last night were Hell March and King of Dragons. So hopefully it's a simple way and a good start to the Snowden camp, and Tommy Berry can push forward and get the job done. So, yeah, Volatile clear on top for race 1, and one of Donny's best for the day. So he'll be shoving in there.
One thing's good with that Volatile, we had it being stirred up a few times last time in, so that, the gelding is going to be probably a pretty big positive sort of thing if it just settles and does that. So, and even that Hell March you were talking about, it's a lovely type, that horse.
Donny?
Hellmarch has trialled out of its skin, so that's the horse I'll be saving on. I just love Volatile. It's had 2 trials. They gave it a break. They brought it back for another trial. So this is definitely the target. So it's going to be fit enough and ready to go. So that's why I'm very keen on this horse.
Outstanding. Gold Coast Race 4 is the next one. It's the Magic Millions Subzero over 2,200 metres. Belvedere Boys is the favourite, $3.80. Miss Jolene, $5. Encoder, $5.50. Lock Eagle, $7.50. Townhouses, $9. Gold Bullion, $9.50. Skylab, $12. So United, $16. Gazumped, $17. And Wapiti, $34. GK, you've been taken by Belvedere Boys its last few starts, and here it is just coming across heels, black with the gold stars.
Yeah, look, I thought this was a really good win. I was sort of on the fence about it last start just because of how firm the track was going to be for it. But look, it got a good ride from Thornton. Saved a lot of ground, got up the rail. But I really liked the way it finished the race off. Like, it really put them away. Like, the only thing that was coming anywhere near it was Queen Air. And then if you look at the rest of this field, like, most of them are coming out of the wave from last week. I'm not sure if that's a race. To be honest with you, that was a farce. Like, they went so slow, and Miss Jolene was just the toughest late. Look, I think the shootout form is far stronger than the wave form, and Belvedere Boys is a complete duck in the wet, and now we get Shin. I think it's a great bet at around $4.
Johnny McLeod?
I'm going to bet in this race, but I'm going to bet a few. I'm just going to pot Miss Jolene. I think 2,200 on a wet track is a real worry, even though it sat wide the other day. As GK said, they walked. So it just allowed those horses to it was like a canter around the place, and it just sprinted. And, the last little bit, she just half wanted to throw the towel. So I'm just looking for horse. I'm not ruling out Lock Eagle out of that race because I think he just couldn't sprint when it went. And the last little bit was a lot better than I thought Miss Jolene. So,
I'm going to make Lock Eagle my one of the main picks. Where do I go from there? 13's got some little hope, and Belvedere Boys I'll probably save on it. But I'll be looking to sort of just watch the mat, but I'm going to be definitely betting around Miss Jolene.
Yeah, I'm obviously 1A in the Lock Eagle fan club, but I'm just not sure if 2,200 is his go. Tannhauser, I think, will probably improve, and to me it just looks like a massive price and sort of the forgotten horse, especially if it's a wet track. I think it'll run that out. But he's definitely gone to a new level, Belvedere Boys. But the wet track has sort of cooled me on this one, and I'm a little bit grey on the whole race. But I can see why GK likes his, and I think the Miss Jolene win was a bit of fake news as well. So I don't mind taking her on at the short odds. Race 6 is the next one at the Gold Coast. We're going to have a look at. It's the Magic Million Snippets over 1,200. You've got Samana favourite here, 480. Hard to say, 550. Hedge is $7. Prince of Boom, $7.50. Steady Ready, $9. Arastro, $10. Natuno is $11. Novelist, $13. Cannonball, $17. Lavish Empire, $20. And then you got Shayled at $21 and Economics at $34. A couple of replays. I didn't really discuss these with you, GK, but this is Samana in the Tats Tiara, and then we'll have a look at a Wink Stakes race as well. Couldn't really find 1,200 metre references, but a lot of strength in these wins, GK. Or not wins, but runs.
Yeah, like if you just look at the races Samana contested, throughout 2024, I think there was like 5 runs in Group 1s and maybe like 1 or 2 in Group 2s as well. And then we had a couple of others sort of listed races. Look, just the depth of the form Samana comes through just has panels on the rest of these. And look, just has been super competitive in, the top line races that we have. Won on this day last year, soft tracks, no problem. Look, I think it's just going to get into a good spot just, behind this speed. And I think, it's going to be really hard to beat. Look, it's hard to get super duper confident in a race like this. So like, I'm not exactly, declaring it or anything. Like I've got Samana $3.50. I just think its form lines are just so far superior to the rest of these. And there's so many question marks on so many of these, like Zarastro, wet track. No. Cannonball, was that a fluke? Does it just need a dry track? Steady Ready, 1,200 meters, really? And on and on and on it goes. Samana is just the one that has the most ticks, and I think is the one you can be most confident about.
I couldn't agree more. Even hard to say, so deep into the market, and he's a big query for mine over 1,200 meters. I've got him pegged as 1,000 meter, 1,100 meter horse max, and there's just so much speed in this race. So she can just cruise in a comfort zone, and hopefully she just unleashes and just is too strong late. Donnie?
Yeah, same thing. I think Samana's the starting point. It's the only horse I could really get keen about. I want to see what the late market does with it, just to see how fit it is and if the stable are pretty keen on it. I thought the roughie of the day of the race was Natuno. It loves the wet. It did best work late last start. It has been crunched in. It's getting into a price that may be a bit short, and Lavish Empire's a fluker's chance.
Yeah. Johnny McLeod?
Yeah, I agree with Samana. It's going to be strong at the finish, and this is one race that the favourites look fair. I think Samana, and hard to say. And I do agree with what you're saying about the 1,200s. A little bit worried that wasn't the worst part of the track the other day, and it was coming through nicely at the finish. And Shing just parked in off the speed. It's going to be Lumen to win, and then Samana getting over the top of it probably. So they're the two, but they're, what are they, $5 each or two? I don't think that's too bad a bet backing both of them.
Well, I'm just going to launch into Samana and hope for hard to say doesn't run the 1,200. So we'll see what happens there. Swim Shady board shorts. I'll just give a quick plug out to these guys. I've been living in them, and I've got a pair for Donnie as well off screen. So make sure you get around these guys. They're the sort of board shorts that you can sort of live in all day and sort of be in and out of the pool. They've got great pockets. They're comfy as they're fit. And a couple of big boys. Nick Tedeschi. Down in Orange, he's a couple of weight divisions above me in the boxing world, and they've found a pair of shorts to fit him. So if they can fit him and someone like me, there's a pair of shorts for anyone. But they're obviously the beach umbrella company, so swimshady.com.au, and you can get a discount to push on to the quaddie legs here. So race 7 at the Gold Coast is the next one we're going to have a look at, and This is the 2-year-old, and wow, a lot of question marks, and I think the wet track just throws this one wide open. Acarian Dream's the favourite here, $6. Labelle Boom is $6. Invincible Woman, $6. Gallo Nero, $7. Memo, $7. Space Rider, $7.50. First Emergency at this stage. And then you've got the Playwright, Olay, Vain Girl, all around the teens. Quietly Arrogant's been back 31 into 18 since final field. And then you got High Barbie at 20, Forgotten Spirit 26, Cool Archie 31. And it's got a really big tail. Let's have a look at a couple of the replays. And I'm happy to talk about a couple of these. And I'll get the boys' thoughts afterwards. But I like the style of this win from Space Rider on debut. And I'm a little bit confused or perplexed that this horse has, to my eyes, got a fairly good engine, and I just love the way he just put a really good gap on these horses, and he was sort of switched off late, but love the way he moves, like the the compact nature of him, and I can just see that 1,200 metres on a wet track will be right up this horse's alley. Few horses can put themselves on the speed, then accelerate over the 1,200 metres on their first start at debut and win like that. The best thing about this horse is on breeding, Zoo Star out of Fuddle Duddle, a red ransom mare. He's bred to absolutely swim. He just looks like the type that's just going to get through it. But bit of trainer error here. Horse with so much talent. I just don't understand how they haven't qualified him. There's been a million options for this horse, and he's just sitting there stranded as first emergency. So love the fact that he's been up in Sydney, trialling around the good horses, and I think he's a really dangerous prospect from Barrier 4. The next horse we're going to have a look at is Gallo Nero. This horse had a lot more energy and a lot more to give, and didn't really love being restrained. So I can actually see this horse sort of going forward and sitting a lot closer, or just to the girth, I guess, of Space Rider. He's drawn Barrier 5, and it was such a slowly run race, this, and I'm a little bit confused. This horse has either got a serious amount of talent, but the question mark that I'm just not convinced about with him is as a really strong run 1,200 metres. He's either a 1,100 metre or 1,000 metre horse, and that's just the one reservation. To my eye, I'm just not sold that 1,200 is exactly what he wants, and I just need to probably see it once more, which I guess we don't really have the luxury of doing. The next race we'll have a look at is Cool Archie, Icarian Dream, and the Playwright. Obviously, Icarian Dream was the early market favourite, and you just see him, and GK sort of declared it this day, and he just comes around the heels of Cool Archie and puts him away nicely. But I was really taken by Cool Archie, who, to my eye, in the green there, that's just whacking away. He's a real smoker and a knockout here. This horse has just got no idea what he's doing. His first run on debut, he was like an out of control shopping trolley, but then again, he just picked himself up there really nicely for the last 150 metres, and I think he's an auto bet at the price, Cool Archie, and the fact that he's done that at only start 3, I think there's still some improvement, and he's by Cool as a Beal and bred to absolutely swim. So I think he's the knockout in a pretty open contest, but we are in a bit of a guessing game here with few of these runners really seeing a soft track or a potentially heavy 8. But the horses I really wanted to take on was Invincible Woman. I thought her trial was average. I thought she was great in the Caulfield Heath win. I love her as a type, but that trial was just a little bit too disappointing for me to entertain taking her at 5-1. And Memo, we saw Memo behind Gallo Nero there. So she's drawn Barrier 1, and GK sort of poured the cold water on it. I know that the capitalists don't absolutely love the wet either, and I just fear the only thing that could make me back Memo is just the Peter Snowden sort of buy before a big grand final. But they were the two horses at the top of the market I was really keen to take on. And Icarian Dream, I just think it's getting too deep into its preparation, and the other three horses are going to sort of work around. But respecting Labella Boom, but I think the two best ways to play would be Space Rider if it gets into the race, and definitely Cool Archie as a horse that's got a fair bit of scope. Donnie?
Yeah, I'm super keen on Space Rider if he can gain a run. I thought that 1,200 debut performance was really good. If it takes some fitness improvement from that, it's going to be tremendously hard to beat. So we just need a scratching for that thing to get in. I'll make that a big result. And I really like Labella Boom as well. I think on the back up from last weekend at the sunny coast. Golan had this in mind the whole time, so he would have left enough petrol in the tank. It maps absolutely perfect from my perspective. He's just going to follow the hot speed, peel out, and be really hard to beat if it gets through the wet track off a 7-day backup. So they're the two horses I've singled out, and I just don't want it to be too wet for La Bella Boo, and I'm just hoping that Space Rider gets in the field. So they're definitely the two horses that I can play with. With High Barbie's a complete forgive off the cardiac arrhythmia. It started shorter than a Carrion Dream last start, so it's one that's the knockout.
Yeah, and Tim Clark's a pretty good booking for that. Yeah, La Bella Boom, initially I thought, okay, a heavy 8, heavy 9, heavy 10 track on a 7-day backup back from the Sunshine Coast. I sort of didn't really want to be with any of those horses, but given the way that the track dried by the time they raced, I think it's right in contention. GK?
Yeah, look, I have La Bella Boom favourite. That's with Space Rider not in the field. I loved that win last start. Like, I actually was really surprised by the performance and just how dominant it was. Like, when it sprinted off that tempo, I was just like, wow, like this thing is really on the upward spiral. Like, I was super impressed by that performance. I love the 7-day backup. Like, it's a bit of a winning formula in this race. Like, I think it's like 5 of the last 8 winners have been on the 7-day backup. Yeah, look, I think it's ready to roll. Look, I'm praying to Allah, Jesus, all the other gods that Quietly Arrogant wins the race because I'm on it over 100s. I think Icarian Dream is still in this race. I thought it was really soft late in that win at Eagle Farm. Like, I thought Collett was like super soft on it late there, and I think it has more. Yeah, look, if Space Rider's in the field, I'd be having something on that. But I'm sort of anchoring my bets around Quietly Arrogant at the big price, La Bella Boom, Icarian Dream, and Space Rider.
Johnny McLeod?
I'm just got to stick with Icarian Dream. On our figures, it rated right down off its Sydney runs. But I think it's going to really love this sort of track, a wet track. It's only, when I looked at it in the yard, I was really disappointed in the way that it looked because it was only a little thing, not much to it. But that's going to just be perfect for the Gold Coast down there. And it's a fit horse, and I think it's going to come in the right part of the track, and I think it's going to be very hard to beat. La Bella Boom, I hate the breed. Going up the distance, just leave me out. Mimo, very keen to lay. Space Rider sitting on the fence with it, but I can't get it short as that. Galanero, I didn't like the horse. Didn't like how the second horse made so much ground on it the other day. But it does rate well, but that did worry me. So I'm putting a High Barbie, do you forgive it? It's a real leggy horse. So maybe the wet is not going to be that big, is going to be a bit of a problem, even though it won on a wet 2 starts ago, but it's very leggy. It's going to, mature into a really nice horse next preparation. So I'm putting holes in a lot of horses, and I'm not putting holes in Icarian Dream. So I'm sticking with it.
I think Fane Girl's probably the other absolute wild card. I thought there was a bit more merit into her performance when she won in the 1,000-metre race at the track. So, yeah, probably taking a bit wider quaddie to kick off the day in race 7, but I think we've definitely selected the main chances there. So good luck to everyone trying to win that one and get a result there. Race 8 is the next one. It's the 3-year-old Magic Million Guineas, and this is an absolute belter. This one, Snitsnova's a favourite here, $6. Tuileries is $7.50. Bohemia is $9. Cosmic Fire $11. Bitter Creek $12. Gimme Space $14. Dance to the Boom is $14, and then you got Yes Lulu $14, King of Rousseau $15, Bazusto $16, Street Chase $16, Arriving Home $17, Catagio $21, Hella Fast $26, Dawn Service $31, Zoo Baby $34, and then you got Shangri-La Express, Hell to Pay, Depth of Character. So wow, it's a race with a massive tail and some high quality horses around the sort of the 20 and 30 to 1 mark. So this is going to be an absolute beauty. John McLeod, we might get you to talk about the first one. This is the Vo Rogue Plate. We sort of referenced how strong the race was, but it's got Bazusto way back in the field. Gimme Space sort of angles off, ridden cold, and then Hella Fast and Zoo Baby are also in the race as well. What do you think of it?
I just like the way Bazusto finished the race. So it's the last little bit, probably the worst part of the track. I know Gimme Space, just gave him windburn down the outside, but he just was more coming to the line, and I just thought he was really well weighted in that race, and I think he's well weighted here, and he's just stepping up in distance. The wet's going to be all right. I think this is the race. They've just set it completely for you're getting. What was it the other day? $4 or something like that. And now $15 to probably $20 on Betfair. I think that's just massive odds. I think there's a lot of chances in the race. I think everyone's going to be coming up with 4 or 5 horses we can back. And my problem with this race is I can't knock any. Like my goal is to find one in the market or a couple in the market that I'm plotting, and then start looking into it and trying to find, 2 or 3 to back them, sort of thing. And if I'm worried here that I can't find the ones in the market to sort of bag, so. Just going for this. I'm just going to make this a really nice winner, Besisto.
Yeah, I must admit, I've had a peanut on Besisto at the $26 early, but then I did notice that you were tipping it, so that's why it's gone off completely. But GK, you had a different angle, or there's 2 you like, and Donnie will be very excited to hear about the first one, and this is Bohemia. I know Donnie snapped up big odds here. I think he's on at $26 or better this one. But this is some win from the Lee and Sherry Curtis yard in the Maroon, charging to the line.
Oh, yeah, it's a freakish win. Off one trial, first up, goes back last, detaches from the field, and then the last 800 meters was 9 lengths above for this class. To get it on the line at Wyong, that is just a massive performance. And, it's shown a lot of ability in the 3 starts prior to that in the previous preparation as well. Don't care about the barrier. It's going to get a long way back, but, they're going to be coming down the outside. So, look, at double figures, I think that is definitely one that, you should definitely have something on. I think it's got a lot of ability, and it's, one of the ones that is progressive and with the upside. I just think this is a race where there's a lot of these sort of at the top of the form guide that are pretty well exposed now, and I think we know what some of them are. I think some of these sort of down the bottom, there's more upside about them.
One of those is Tuileries, and we'll have a look at its replay here. It's in the Jonathan Munns colours, smothered up, and once it gets clear, wow, this horse has got an accelerator.
Yeah, this is the other one that I'm keen on. Again, drawn to car park, don't care. It will be sitting, I'm guessing, 3 wide line midfield, but both the last 2 runs, it's just amazing that when I think it's been Clark and it might have been Sheila recently, when they've pushed the button, it just explodes. And the tempo hasn't been that strong in both of those runs. One was quite slow and one was sort of around standard, but both times it's just absolutely sprinted off a dime and produced a pretty blistering last 400 meters. Super impressive. Look, I've backed Bohemia and Tuileries. I'm going to have something on Besisto as well, just because there was absolutely no intent in that ride last start. I thought it was farcical. Talking through my wallet, that was the furthest back they've ever been. It was like they weren't trying. I'm sure they were, but that's how it looked to my eye. So to me, it just seemed almost like a barrier trial. So I'm definitely following up again with another bet on it.
Yeah, I think that they're the 3 horses with the most upside, Donnie.
Yeah, I'm not a religious person at all, but I'm going to ask GK to pray to all his racing gods for my horse Bohemia. I've got it going for a fair stack, and I don't think the Gold Coast will need any post-race entertainment. If this wins, I'll cover that. So that's the one I'm cheering for the hardest. There's going to be a really good line of back markers coming down with Tuileries, Give Me Space, and Bohemia. They're going to be flying. I hope it sets up and they're all charging down the outside fence, and I'll be able to reach out and touch one of them, maybe pull Tuileries' tail to stop it in the last 50. But yeah, like you said, Besisto's a great bet at the price, and I'll be cheering biggest result of the day for Bohemia.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, wow. When I saw the replay then again of Tuileries, she was just in a mad pocket there, and don't know if you saw it. She just put the mouthguard in at the 300, barged away out, and just savaged the line. It's a classic DK line finder if you're a regular follower of the show. But she's a dangerous prospect. But be interesting to see what the barriers do and how the track's playing. If there's any intent or better intent from Josh Parr, wow, that the early price for Bazusto is just insane. But I think they're the 3 horses with the most upside, so I'm rapt that you guys have found them. Race 9 is the next one. It's the Magic Millions Cup. It's over 1,400 metres, and this is an absolute corker. This one, Charmstone is the new favourite here, $5.50. Moravia, $7. We've got Redford, $8. Abounding, $10. Perfect Thought, $12. Sioux Sensation, $13. You got Orton at $15. You got Western Africa next to the market at $16. Christ Ayor, who loves the wet, at $20. Weigel Tiger, who's been flying, $20. Then you got Flying Trapeze at $21. Freak of Nature, $21. Sink Torrey, $21. And you can get much, much better rest. Horses like Battleton, Bel Air, built some quality animals deeper down in the field. But there's 2 that we're going to zero in on, and one of them's the Moravia form line. And the horse you like here, Donnie, in the Aquas colours is Redford, who also loves a wet deck.
Yeah, Redford's an up-and-coming Queensland horse that I love the win of this. In the last 100, it just puts Moravia away. It's really interesting that Moravia's equal favourite with it this week, and he meets at 8.5 kilos better off the weight. So I just don't understand how this is even close in the betting. I think Moravia could start in the 20-1 or more if we race on Saturday. I don't give it much of a chance, obviously.
Yeah.
Redford was fresh 47 days. It's on the 7-day backup. They haven't booked a jockey here, which is interesting. It's already gained a run, so I'm not sure what their plan is here. But gate 4, it can settle just off the speed and hopefully can angle out to the best part of the track. I think it's a great bet. It's fitter this week, and I think it's a massive chance.
Yeah, like all points you've made there. And the next horse we're going to look at is West of Africa. And it's in the OTI colours, and it's given a quiet run here. It's in the white baldy face, right out the back, scouting widest now.
Yeah, this is a really good form reference, this race. We've got Accredited, who's going to take the lead. It's subsequently won by about 5 lengths in Randwick, and we've got Yorkshire outside it. It's subsequently won this weekend at Wyong in the last. So West of Africa is down the outside. It's made really good progress. This is a hot race. It handles all conditions, and it's going to be out wide, hopefully down the best part of the track. So I think at around 20-1 is a really nice bet too.
Just looks like completely missed by the market. GK?
Yeah, look, I'm still got PTSD from that Moravia performance. I don't know how it didn't win that race. Like if it wins this week,
Cat.
yeah, if it wins this week, well, I mean, I'm just like that's just salt into the wound. I thought Moravia had every chance in the universe last week, so there's no way I could find it. I can't believe it's the price it is. Yeah, look, I have Redford on top at present. But I haven't bet in this race, and it's sort of it's one of the races on the card where I really want to bet late and see conditions and everything. Like there's so many super talented animals in this race that I think could be a chance here. Like, you know, if we don't get the rain that we're expecting and we only get sort of 10 mils, well, maybe that brings Abounding back into the race. I don't know. But yeah, look, I'd probably be on Redford if I was betting now.
I think I'll need a helicopter and drop Moravia out at the 600 metre mark if it's going to run 1400. There's absolutely zero chance that he can run 7 furlongs. John McLeod? I'm
in your camp with Moravia. Geez, but this show won't be on if it wins.
Yeah.
Next it's just it had every possible, and I was worried about the 1300. I think he's 1200 metre was the best, and he's going to 1300. Now he's going to 1400 on a possible wet track. So I don't want to say any more about it. But I'm looking for horses. I think this is a really good race to find horses midfield back, wide gate, coming out wide, and West of Africa is one of them. Redford's a lovely wet track type and a very fit horse in the yard the other day. He's one of my picks out of the yard. And he got the chocolates, even though I didn't back him. It was ridiculous. But I just think this is
Why do you think they haven't got a jockey on yet?
I don't know. Maybe maybe trying to find a bloke, or they've got someone in mind that maybe. What weight has he got?
53. That could be the issue, is it?
Yeah, just trying to find the bloke who sees if you can get down to 53 and a half or something like that.
Well, forget a bloke. Does Ants Jones have a ride in this race?
It feels like it's been a week or two since we've mentioned Ants Jones, the Queen of Brisbane.
Exactly.
What about the two of them, Ants Jones and Kyle? They're just cleaning up.
Yeah.
They're just absolutely cleaning up the joints for the league. But and it's all map jockey and and just better around Moravia.
Yeah, Ange Jones, on a more serious note, is on Art's object for Kurt, dropping back from 1,800 metres. So I'm not sure that horse has got the dash. So if Ange can relieve herself, she'd be a great rider for that. But the only horse that I will make a big case for, her bomb wet tracker, is Christ Ayor. Might be in the right spot, the right part of the track. And if you forgive its last start run in the Festival Stakes behind Private Eye, Robusto, Zadaki, that's pretty strong form. But the one prior was only beaten 1.7 to Briasa, Felix Majestic, and Cold Crusher. Like, that form absolutely stacks up here. And the best part is you've got K-Mac off to B Shin, so you couldn't get a better switch at the moment, I would have thought. There's good money to be made when you get K-Mac off in recent times. So that's the quaddie horse for sure, is Christ Ayor. But do love your points there with the bounding, and it's as you say, Team Le Moravio, and the show might never come back if it comes out and win, and probably rightly so. Gold Coast Race 10 is the last one and final leg of the quaddie. Interesting market here. You got Hidden Wealth off a bit of a flop at $4.20. You got Boom Talk, as you boys suggested. Don't back at last start, but now it's been $8.50 into $4.40. Red alert there, but it has got barrier one. Yellow Brick at $6. Safrado $6, busting at $8.50. Brand new horse this time in. Bohemian Lad is a duck. It's been 18 into 13. You got Skirt the Law, $15. Find Your Own is stepping up here at $17, and you've got Safe Work 21. Vim Manelli is 21, and Better the Rest. We're going to have a look at the buffering lead up, Johnny McLeod, and you like Safrado here in the white.
Yeah, I just think this horse is flying, and just speed up front in this race is just going to suit it. It's just try. He's just a try. This horse just keeps on trying. He's very fit. There's you could put a few holes in a few horses here, and Yellow Brick Road, or Yellow Brick being one of them. If it's wet, if it's dry, well, then it's a bit of a change. And Hidden Wealth, I'm not so sure about, but I just like the way that Safrado's been just putting itself in the race. And like, we backed it, I think, about 3 starts ago at Doom, and in a small field. I think it was against Hidden Wealth, and he did hit the line really late that day. And I just think he's a nice horse, and he's a forgetful horse. He's always there, and everyone's trying to find something else, but he's always puts his head out.
Yeah, the replay we just saw on the screen there is a replay of the Wheatwood, and I might get my AV guy just to re-roll that if he can from the sort of the 600. But this is the other horse that I think is a massive danger, and I know he's got 61 kilos, and you're looking at horses like Busting down there at 52, but I think this horse is a bomb wet tracker, Yellow Brick. The stable came out before the Wheatwood and said he's just not ready, and he went and had a massive campaign up in Sydney. He comes here fresh. The trial over 800 metres was absolutely superb, Yellow Brick. He's probably going to be out in the right part of the track, but importantly, he gets a massive weight swing on Hidden Wealth here. Hidden Wealth had no weight that day, and for a horse that's sort of half fit, he just sort of kept charging. I think that residual fitness is going to count for a lot, Yellow Brick, and I think he's just sneaky flying. These 5 Diamonds Prelude run over 1,500, 1.1 lengths to I Know a Star, and Pericles over 1,800 metres. He only got beaten half a length. Like, he's not an 1,800 metre horse to my Yellow Brick, and this is just the perfect setup. If he can find a way to carry 61 kilos against some of these other like wet trackers, perhaps down at 52 kilos, I reckon he's right in the race. But I wouldn't be surprised if Yellow Brick drifts out to $10, and I'll be making him a winner really late. But I thought Hidden Wealth is a horse that I needed to take on, especially after his last start flop. But I might have bombed Hiroshima here because I know GK is absolutely in love with Hidden Wealth and owes him nothing.
Yeah, it's probably my favourite horse in Queensland. It's paid for about 3 years of my mortgage repayments. So, like I'd buy it after it retires, and it can live in my backyard if it wants. But look, I just don't know what to make of that last run. Like, Kyle was so soft on it late there. Like, they weren't even, like, he wasn't even trying the last 50 or 100 meters. I've kind of come to the conclusion that if it doesn't get control and it has horses outside it kind of spits the dummy out. That's sort of what it seems to me a little bit. So like sitting outside like OSL is like perfectly fine for this horse, and I love wide draws for it, but My question is mainly 1300. I don't know about 1300 and like 1200. I'd be unloading, but I just think 1300 brings Sofrado and Yellow Brick back into this race. That's my concern. And then my other concern is that, we've got, because of the nature of this race and such huge prize money for the Queensland horses, we've got Find Your Own, which is a 1,000-meter horse, is going to go absolutely bonkers up front here. So they're going to be coming hard, which to me, that really pushes me towards horses like Yellow Brick and Sofrado. I don't know which way I'm going to play yet. I think I might save stake Hidden Wealth, just because it's probably going to get to the right part of the track and, just to see how pattern is. But I'm looking at the top of the form guide here for the winner.
Donny?
Yeah, I like Busting as a horse. I just don't think it wants it too wet. So that kind of rules that out if we keep getting the rain. And Boom Talk, I think, is really well set up here, but Barrier 1, is that going to be an issue? So that kind of leaves me out of that horse, and I'm not the biggest fan of Hidden Wealth, and then that kind of leaves me with Sofrado, but it's a race that I'm not too keen to play at this point in time, but race 10 tomorrow when I've had 18 schooners, I'm sure I'll be betting up.
Yeah, and the good thing is we've got a lot. I think it's one of the trickier events, but by that stage, the pattern's going to be well established. You'll know where you want to be, and I think the market's going to tell the story here as well. I'm hoping the market overlooks Yellow Brick, so I can get a greedy $10, but I probably won't get that with GK obviously finding the horse to a certain extent as well. But hopefully we've shed enough light on a tricky quaddie, and hopefully they get through the whole card, because from a punter's point of view, it's a brilliant race. And whilst the 2-year race isn't the strongest year and there's no big standout Storm Boy, from a puzzle and a betting point of view, it certainly offers a lot. So if you can find the winner, you're going to get well rewarded. And the 3-year race, I think, makes up for it. Race 8 is an absolute corker, and so is race 9. So make sure if they go ahead, you support the club by having a bet. And if they make sure you just get out there and go the track, because hospitality and service out there at Gold Coast Turf Club, speaking firsthand, last week was unbelievable. It was the best fan meeting I've ever been to. It was just crazy how good it was, and I was just shocked at how well they did, given there was nothing going on. It was quite remarkable. TopSport Big Bets, race 7, number 11. Someone's forgiven this one. Could be Johnny McLeod's bet, $300 at $26 higher Barbie. So I'm interested to see what the late money does with this horse. But I echo John's sentiments. I think if it gets in the real heavy range, just looking at its action from its win a couple of starts back, I don't think it wants it bottomless. The next one is race 7, number 1, Quietly Arrogant. And this horse has been off the map. Sort of a bit of a forgotten horse. I know GK hasn't forgotten about it at $126 a place, but can't really make a case against. And he could be a different horse on a wet track. So $150 at $34 is the bet there. So I won't be shocked if it wins. And there's a couple of bets out wide that might not have got around any of us. But Flemington race 4, number 2, Newfoundland. I think it's over the staying trip. And then the last one is Wyong race 10, number 10, Silent Star. I think it's $150 at $14. You like that?
No, it can't win. Yorkshire's in moral that race, I think.
Okay. Oh, beautiful. All right. So Donny stamped one there in the Get Out Stakes at Wyong race 10. But if you want more access of the guys' information, just email brizzyformguide@gmail.com or jump into the DMs of GK at brizzyformguide on Twitter. And then obviously John McLeod's got MacBet, and Donny and I do stuff with the Little Birdie Syndicate as well. So our renewals are due there. But big thanks to all you boys for getting the show up and going this summer carnival. Hope you've enjoyed it. And after chatting to the couple of guys from RQ, I think we might be back in late April if you boys are keen to go around for the winter carnival. So, GK, we likely to see you back on board?
Yeah, provided Moravia doesn't win. Otherwise, we might have to remortgage the house or something. But but absolutely.
Johnny McLeod, big thanks to you and Tommy Turbo. He seems to be the golden-haired boy after cricket's chirping. So you're a pretty modest man. You're happy to play second fiddle?
Oh, shit, yeah. I'll just, I might have to just produce the Dick Togs if Bazzusto wins. And I'll just sit back and watch you guys.
Oh, I think all eyes will be on Donny. I think you and Longy might be running up the straight at the Gold Coast if Bohemia wins, and you might get the big double if Volatile wins in the first at the Gold Coast. So you're going out?
I'll be doing a naked splash on the wet track under the Gold Coast if Bohemia wins. I can't wait. I think gates open at 8:45, and I've got the members ticket, so I might have to go and line up nice and early, and it could be a long day.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. You might have to pinch my spare tickets as well. But after going last week, I'll definitely be in the chair at home in the hot seat, and couldn't think of anything better. Just sit home on laptop and just watch it all unfold. The crowds are too much for me. But big thanks to all our sponsors, TopSport Racing Queensland, Punting Form, Swim Shady. Make sure you get a pair of the good board shorts while summer's still rolling along. And a big thanks to me from the MacBet, for the MacBet boys who have done a great job. GK and Donny also. The quality of information's been incredible, and it's been trying circumstances and just changing conditions. They've done a great job to execute the summer, given the amount of rain that we've had up here. It's just been topsy-turvy, but you can see why the fluctuations, these guys know their stuff. So looking forward to bringing the show back to you guys at the end of April for Queensland-only version. So hopefully you can run all the way to, I guess it'd be Caloundra Cup or Ipswich Cup Day in July, and then I guess we'll tip ourselves out in the paddock again. But hopefully you guys have learned a lot, and make sure you follow up with the guys' tip sheets and selections, because these guys are 24/7 into Queensland on a daily basis. So there's always bets to be had. And make sure you keep supporting Racing Queensland, because I think it's definitely going places, and they're very punter friendly. So big thanks from me, and good luck on the Magic Millions card, and hopefully I can get through Saturday, if not Wednesday or Saturday next week, and we'll make sure that we send out a tip sheet regardless, and update our tips with the changing conditions. But stay tuned, and we'll see you soon.